Assembly is all about food, and in particular, can you eat yourself happy? Throughout lockdown, I spent a lot of time either eating or thinking about food, shopping for food, thinking about how I can source my food locally, and what food we can eat to improve our quality of life. So I thought I'd share with you some of my thoughts and some of the research that I've done throughout lockdown all about food. So, the food that I've been eating has been fresher because I've had more time to think about where I can shop. I've also cooked a lot more from scratch, so thought about buying ingredients because I've had the time to create and cook new recipes. I bought more cookbooks and I've watched a lot more videos about food as well. Hopefully, you've had some great food experiences, but has it made me happier? Well, it's kind of made me a bit larger, but there are certain things that I've learned throughout lockdown that can improve my mental health by the food choices that I make. So at the start of lockdown, we saw this.
Back in the month of March, grocery sales hit an all-time high, amounting to £10.8 billion. That's even higher than the Christmas rush. And now we are still buying more groceries than before. In July, sales were 14.6% up on the same time last year. The market for non-perishables did particularly well. In the first 12 weeks, we spent 38% more on dried pasta.
Rise in the popularity of home baking. We sell a 3 kilogram flour now. We'd have never done that before.
The pandemic seems to have had an impact on the food we want to buy.
There are more core ingredients being bought, so people are obviously spending more time in the kitchen creating for themselves.
Within weeks of being locked down, a third more of us were using our time at home to cook from scratch.
People have found the ability to bake again, so goodness knows what our waistlines are going to look.
Well, I looked to one of my own favourite food heroes, Jamie Oliver, and this is his philosophy on whether you can eat yourself happy, and this is what he says.
Hello, lovely people of FoodTube. We have a brilliant collaboration today. Alain de Botton.
Hello.
How are you,
Thank
sir?
you so much.
Tell these lovely people about your channel.
The School of Life channel is where you should go for all your problems with relationships, work, anxiety, insomnia, all the kind of stuff that keeps us troubled and worried. It's the number one place to get an emotional education.
And this is the stuff that you don't get taught at school.
That's right. That's why we called it the School of Life. It's all the stuff that weirdly has fallen through the cracks.
So go check out his channel, watch it, and then you're hooked.
What do you know about philosophy?
I don't know. Possibly what I think philosophy is, it isn't. So
Okay, look,
maybe you can help me.
I'd love to help you. Our brain is a faulty walnut. The task of culture and philosophy in particular is to give that faulty walnut things that will keep it balanced, steady, calm, honest, all the things that we want. But we can't do that on our own. We still live in a culture where what's going on in our minds is so, presumed to be disconnected from what we're eating.
Tell them what you've told me to do.
The challenge is simple. Jamie, how can you help us to think better by eating better? So is there a kind of food that will keep your mind fresh, active, and, keep things in perspective? That's the challenge.
Your body's basically like a loofah, right? There's little kind of caverns and pockets where it's just sucking up all the things that it needs. Some things it needs every day, some things it can hold on to and keep over reserves for weeks and months. I can show you foods that are really rich and great sources of things that particularly your brain likes. The more you mix it up and the more whole foods we mix up, the more chance you've got to be the very best we can be. The obsession by one thing that's going to make you clever or fast, I think we need to let go straight away.
Yeah, I agree. It's like in philosophy, people always say, what's the meaning of life? It's like, well, life is made up of many, many rivers that flow into a central sea of meaning. It's not...
So there you have it from Jamie Oliver, a balanced diet, and our body is like a loofah. Take what you want from that. So I thought I'd give you some Walton's top tips on how we can help ourselves be a bit happier and maybe a bit smarter during lockdown by making sensible food choices. So I looked at some research into this. If we eat at regular intervals, it helps to keep your blood levels consistent. So when blood sugar drops, it leads to tiredness and irritability and inconsistent blood sugar levels that have even been spiked to mood disorders, including depression and anxiety. If your blood sugar spikes, this will be followed by a dip, and then you'll be hit by these issues. So eating erratically might be doing more harm than just leaving you with a rumbly tummy. That's not to say that you should be grazing all day. That does us no good whatsoever. You need to eat breakfast, lunch and dinner. If you need snacks in between, you can go for a bit of fruit or some fresh vegetables cut up. But eating regularly is going to help you to feel happier and be able to cope with the day far better. Drinking plenty of fluids, and by that I mean water or juice, not particularly coffee and tea and hot chocolate. Occasionally that's okay, but getting water into the body is going to help you feel a whole lot better. Dehydration can actually impact on your mental well-being by making it harder for you to think clearly and focus. Dehydration is seen by the body as a stressor, leading to symptoms of low energy, poor focus, confusion and irritation. The brain cells require water just as the body does, and this explains why individuals who are dehydrated are more susceptible to mental stress. Water is beneficial to our mental health. In fact, evidence from randomized controlled trials tell us that helping people with depression to improve the quality of their diets can have a substantial benefit to their mental health and functioning. In these trials, the diet that had the major benefit was one designed to mimic a traditional Mediterranean diet, high in whole grains, vegetables, fruits, fish, and olive oil. A balanced diet feeds the brain, providing it with the nutrients it needs to support a positive mood and improves signalling pathways between brain cells for optimal brain function. So in effect, your body and your brain need all sorts of different foods to keep you happy, stable, and to improve its function throughout the day. So avoid sugary food that just spikes your insulin and makes you feel high and happy for a while, then leads to a slump. Go for food that are balanced throughout the day. Fresh fruit and vegetables, a small amount of carbs, plenty of protein. You're tired. It's really easy, isn't it, to reach for something that's quick, high in fat, high in carbs, just to get you through the next hour. And it's quick. It's really easy to pick up the phone to Deliveroo and get them to deliver you a Big Mac. But actually, it's not going to help you in the long term. Certain foods can impact on your digestion and actually make you feel unwell. This leads you to feeling uncomfortably bloated, which leads to a sluggish feeling, which is often accompanied by a brain fog and then impairs your mental clarity. So if you're trying to get through an assignment or an online lesson, that is the last thing you need to grab a burger at lunchtime in between lessons. Whenever you eat processed food, it initially leaves you feeling quite happy and full up, but that feeling goes away really, really quickly. It contains fewer nutrients than raw ingredients. There is no joy to making the food. It's just a quick fix, but can really lead to you feeling lethargic and bloated. So always go for food that you prepared yourself, that you know where it's come from, that will keep you going for much longer and help your concentration in between lessons. So to finish this assembly, I'm going to take you to my all-time food hero, Nigella Lawson. She did a series and a cookbook that was all about herself in lockdown, which I watched. I'm not saying I cooked many of the recipes, but I do like her approach to food.
Cook, Eat, Repeat is frankly the story of my life. Food is more than just sustenance. It brings such joy, and it has the power to make a real difference every single day. The recipes in Cook, Eat, Repeat are ones I return to again and again. So gorgeous. They're all part of the rhythms and rituals of my kitchen. Food to brighten up even the darkest day and luxuriate in my favourite ingredients. This is bowl food at its best. In dishes that just say home to me. We all know that cooking can be a balm in troubled times, but more, I believe that the kitchen can be both a sanctuary and a pleasure palace. And that's something I am more than happy to celebrate repeatedly.
So, over half term, enjoy your food, think about what you're eating, make some sensible food choices, try and make some changes, get out, have some fresh air, but more than that, enjoy your family, enjoy eating with your family, and enjoy your food. Have a great half term, everybody.